Greetings today from Manhattan, Kansas.
Darn.
This is, I know, this is Renee Benson at AV Renee KC. You are listening to and watching the AV Life.
I thought for sure you were in Manhattan, New York.
Could have been.
Hey, this is Nancy Blanchard with Bose Professional, and you can reach me at LinkedIn as well as X at Nancy Blanchard. And you're listening to and watching the AV Life this evening.
Hello, everyone. This is Murphy Daily at Written by Murphy. I am in Southern California, dodging the raindrops, and you are joining us for the AV Life.
Oh, you got a small town and weather, so we must be doing the AV Life. You are listening and watching the AV Life.
That was James King, for ladies and gentlemen, since he decided not to say his name. But if you Google him, you'll find him. And I'm your host, Tim Van Wert from Rutgers University, also in the rain here in the great state of New Jersey. And you are watching and listening to the AV Life. Hey, we got it all out of the way in the intros. So,
Off the rails, small town and weather. There we go.
Yeah.
That's the high quality content that everybody's here for. So, and hey, we unofficially got a shout out during the HETMA conference for the high quality content, because that's really what we're here for. So HETMA just stole it from us. So yeah, my prediction was right. We had an awesome conference.
Good.
I was glad. I was bummed I was traveling and I couldn't jump on very much. I jumped on a few times, but it looked like I was in an airplane and I tried to jump on even though you're not supposed to. And I was like, that happy hour is not still going on. And then I landed and then I was like, that happy hour is not still going on. And then I kept seeing the tweets. It was like a world record happy hour.
I guess you underestimated the happiness.
I know. I should have just stayed dialed in and announced myself, but I was like, there's just no way. It's been too many hours, apparently.
I know. I thought that was amazing. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, we broke a couple records. So the happy hour was one, but also most attendees so far of all of our HETMA conferences.
Congratulations on that. Was it like 330 or 340?
338, I believe is the number.
Yeah, that's insane.
Hey, was that just the U.S. or was that North America?
That's all attendees for
all attendees.
The
so there was
virtual
some global too.
Oh, was there? Oh, see, that's cool. That's really cool. I'm so proud of you guys, honestly.
I am too.
Yeah. And that's what is funny. We were talking about it with like Renee and and Nancy and Murphy, you all, and James. I mean, we've all been involved with HETMA like in some way or another over all these years. We're celebrating 5 years now as an organization, and there's been a lot of you have seen this organization grow from its pure infancy to the. I'm giving it dog years because we're like in our 30s at this point, I feel like. So yeah. We don't grow like we're not 5 years old. We're like 35. So it's like, at least sometimes it feels that way.
Well, I'm going to dinner tonight with some people here in Manhattan from K-State. So I definitely will. What I always do is chat about HETMA with all my higher ed customers. So I'm excited. Yeah, the show I'm here for is actually on their campus.
Cool.
Which is one of the coolest campuses I've ever been on, just because it's older and it's just super, super eclectic. But I'll be talking HETMA at dinner tonight.
Well,
and you know what? I did last week in Denver with my consultants, because some of them, their focus was higher ed. And I said, have you ever heard of HETMA? And he said, no. And I said, well, okay, let me tell you about HETMA, because it's something that you should, learn more about. So
I think we need HETMA business cards.
Yeah.
Or stickers. We need some HETMA
or
stickers.
QR codes.
Reference bonus.
Well, yeah, I can send you pictures of the QR code, and you can just have that on your phone and be like, here, scan, because I've got them back in my office. So
I like that, actually.
So I mean, so talk to your local. I will say a lot of your local reps have been doing a lot of legwork for us in that respect. So we appreciate that. It's great having partners, with like Sony and with Bose, and we have those relationships. So And we can only go so far with getting the word out about the org, just as us as our individual universities. We actually talked about that during the conference. And some of you have the contacts at like the small community colleges, or like even the small universities and colleges that we just don't, some of us don't have the connections with. So
Well, I was saying, what I was touting about was Infocom and the booth that you had and the people you brought in, and especially the DJ in that. And then I was saying you're going to have a bigger 2-story booth at Infocom 24, and that is the place to really go to spec it out, to learn more about the community.
Hey, last year it was the place to be.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
mean, all
Yeah.
hours of the day. I mean, it just seemed like I walked back there a couple of times, and then we obviously recorded, but it was like, it was never not just jam packed back there the whole time. So it's awesome. Just goes to show how much, and I feel like, I know we're all trying to get the word out, but it's done it kind of organically, right? I mean, we just kind of talk to people. It's not like we're out like all day pumping HETMA. I mean, you talk to people. I've had people call me from universities that talk to another university and say, well, they installed a bunch of Bravias and they love them, and love the way the digital signage works on the SOC. Talk to me about your Bravias. Oh, okay. That was a HETMA reference that I didn't even mean to do. Right. So, anyway, so that's, to me, it's kind of happening naturally.
James, were you about to say something before?
No, I'm just sitting back listening. It's great hearing. That's the thing about HETMA is really taken off. If you look where we're at, we're coming on 5 years. None of us are getting paid. This is 100% volunteer based, which is great. And seeing how the manufacturers are taking to it, and as Renee put in the chat, HETMA cheerleader, sharing the good thing, because every manufacturer I talk to, all the same thing. They're like, oh, we tell everyone about HETMA. And that just shows you the value that we bring, not only to higher ed, but also to the AV industry, the vertical that we are under. So I think it shows that the members, it's bigger than any one or few hand folks. It's the whole organization.
And
Okay.
you just got to get Avixa to change it from June to something that is more appropriate for that aligns with you guys.
Joey Lloyd's gonna get tired of me saying that we should keep it in October. So I'm sorry, Joey, but we got to go back to October because that was the best that we could have probably.
I'm gonna say, was October the best for higher ed? Yes, but it was the best just for higher ed. We are a big vertical. As we see with HETMA, but we are not the only vertical. And yes, I would love it being October. Don't get me wrong. If Infocom's listening or Avix is listening and they can pull that string and move it, hey, I'll support it 100%. But you know what? We got to look at it holistically. And I think Infocom and Avixa, it's right spot, right time for our current industry as a whole, not just for one vertical or the other. We can't cater to just one sliver of it. We got to make it holistic for everybody. And that's one thing I love about HETMA too, is we don't just cater to higher ed. Like, yeah, we have our closed section. We are our higher ed. We are the voice for higher ed. But, we do rely on our partners, manufacturer partners, our integrated partners. So it's a whole family, and we need to all come together and, achieve big things.
Okay. Not to take away from the beloved topic of Avixa and Infocom, but I was going to say, as everyone was being happy about the continued success and outreach of HETMA, this is something, and you were saying, nobody's paid to do this. And like, well, this is, I guess, the value of the true believers. And also, this is something that's come up a lot this week, and maybe I'm kind of sliding into the PM minute a little bit. Hold on to your butts. I've been bringing up the word self-organizing a lot this week, and well, I would say this month, well, the last couple weeks, that in particular projects do well when the team comes together and self-organizes. Like, what do we need to do? They get together, they discuss it, they talk amongst themselves. And I have told my team, I want to push down to the closest, like, I don't want it to be a management thing. I want it to go to where the people who are doing the work can make the decisions and can get together and add value. Be like, we need a tool for this. Here's how we do this. Let's come up with a process for this. For the people that are actually doing it, that's the best place for processes, clubs, excitement to come from. Rather than someone else saying, you must do this. They're like, yeah, but that doesn't sound anything like me. And that doesn't sound like what we do. But like, okay, what do you do? All right, self-organize. Come on, add your input. Come up with your plan. And then we can all talk about it, refine it, make sure it works for everybody, and roll it out. Self-organizing is a beautiful thing to do in projects, in organizations, and in life.
That PM reminds me of a recent book I read called Turn the Ship Around. It talks about how it's a nuclear submarine captain. And how
I like it already.
Yeah, well, basically in the Navy, prior to his thing, is each captain of the boat, they only cared about their tenure. They didn't care what happened once they left or what happened before they got there. They only care, like, the ship had to be perfect for their tenure. This captain felt like, hey, that's not right. Like, it should return, like, go on without me here type deal. So he actually started doing what's called a leader instead of a hierarchy leader follower leadership. And it took one of the worst nuclear submarines in the Navy and turned around to one of the best nuclear subs in the Navy. And like one of the things that they talked about, it wasn't that they weren't making mistakes. They just realized the mistakes they were doing and making proper adjustments to fix them. Like even when they went for their inspections and stuff, even the inspectors are like, yeah, they're making the same kind of mistakes that all the other boats are making, but now they realize they're catching it and fixing it so it doesn't become a bigger issue. And they took ownership of it. Like one of the things he talked about was there was one person on the boat who was trying to get leave to see his child being born. Well, the leave request had to go through 10 layers of approvals. And he's like, why? What? And so that officer, or not even an officer, but that enlisted person, leave was sitting on someone's desk because it wasn't being moved. So he actually was like, well, their shift commanders can actually make that decision. Like, there's no reason why they couldn't, as long as things were taken care of. Like, and that's where the whole thing came about. And like a lot of things got more efficient, they talked about.
Right. Because you want that person basically driving the ship. Like when you're driving a car, you don't want to have to go call back. Can I hit the brakes? That would be ridiculous.
Exactly. Exactly. And he actually ran into that issue. He talked about in the book, there was one time they're coming into a channel and the command was coming up to turn the ship or something like that. And he's watching the guy who's sharing it, and he wasn't making the command. And he's thinking in his head, he's waiting. He finally is like, why aren't you turning the boat? And the guy's like, if I do it now, we're going to crash. because he wasn't fully aware of all the information. And he said in the old way of doing things, in the leader follower, if he as a captain came and go, why aren't you turning the ship? The guy would just turn the ship because he,
like,
the
okay.
captain told him to.
Just told him to.
Yeah.
Wow. What if that's on audiobook? I need to listen to that. I'm not a very good reader.
But no, it's a great book. It was one of the recent books I just finished, and I really did enjoy that one.
Okay, good.
Well,
Cool.
for those of you following along, I just posted a link to it on Twitter in the
Nice.
comment to our original post, because books, hello.
All right, so I'll have to make sure I link back to that
Yeah.
tweet later.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh well, thank you, Murphy. That was perfect, and James, that was very perfect segue onto that too. So,
that was awesome.
yeah, you're right. HETMA's very much like that. We all kind of had that common goal of where we wanted to see the organization going, and we made the proper changes as we saw fit over the years. So that was really cool. Well done.
Well done, Murphy. We always miss you when you're not here, so I'm glad you're back.
Oh, thank you.
I always take something away from it, a bullet or 2 or 10, and I always find it very insightful. So I appreciate it.
Well, thanks so much.
And you look amazing, and we're very happy you're doing great and all done with treatment. And hashtag cancer. Yeah.
That's right.
It's been a journey, but
right.
We had the love of AV last week when you weren't here. So
oh, that's right.
I'm giving you a little extra love as a carryover from the last recording.
Thank you. Yeah, boy, it's funny. It's like things were peaceful when I had no energy and I could keep up, and then now things are like kind of exploding in all kinds of different ways. I'm like, boy, it's like, the work expands to fill all available possible energy, apparently. Like, okay. Yeah, all right.
All right, I love you guys. I got to get out for dinner so I can go talk
to
everyone.
Enjoy.
Have a good night.
We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Yep. Bye.
Mm.
And then there were 4.
And then there were 4. And you know what? The number 4, and I'm going to make a weird segue on this, is for the month of April. And in April, we've got the New Jersey Roadshow for HETMA. Speaking of HETMA. Yeah, I know. It's a long way around, James. I saw the look. It's fine.
It works.
Or to go more directly, there's a HETMA Roadshow happening in New Jersey. It's coming up in April.
April 10th. Information is out there. So, sign up. It's a free event. Meet the vendors, meet Rutgers folks, meet HETMA folks. I hear rumor that Erin Moran might be making a special guest appearance.
Well, maybe I'll have to come then.
Apparently, it's only like 3 hours or 2.5 hours from her place up to New Jersey. So I was like, okay.
I can buy that. I mean,
yeah. Well,
that's the thing on the East Coast. Everything's so close.
All these
far away.
Right, exactly. And that's the other part too, is that like I'm North Jersey, so like everything in my head is always like an extra hour or so, to like Rutgers, and Rutgers is further south, so it's like, so I was like, oh, isn't that like 4.5, 5 hours? She's like, no. I'm like, oh yeah, it's actually closer, and yeah, so. I think we talked about it on Friday, so it's already after like 3 days of the HETMA conference, and so.
And so to segue off of that, April is closer than you think as well.
True.
Yes.
It's very close.
Yeah. I mean, I have in like a couple weeks a 20-year-old.
That's crazy.
20. Oh my gosh.
Congratulations.
That's what. Yeah, congratulations.
Thanks, I think. Do I still call him my baby boy?
Of course.
I think you always can.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that was so nice when Erin came out to DC when Bose Pro had their Time to Listen event. And that was my first, because I had just come on with them, and she said, I saw your posting, and I thought, oh, I'll come by and say hi. And it was fun to see her.
Aaron's a rock star. He is
Mm-hmm.
doing great things, not only where he works, but also for HETMA and just in general. He is definitely a
Yeah.
rock star. And I didn't know this. This is something I heard just recently. Is she was one of those ones on one of the first HETMA virtual conference show who didn't interact much, but was in and out. And now she's the vice chair of HETMA.
Yep.
And doing amazing things.
Wow.
And so she's awesome.
Yes, she
Yeah.
is. And we're very thankful to have her, in that vice chair role and really steering us, and keeping Joe in line along with that too. But, really.
Yeah, definitely
Well,
keeping
hey,
Joe in line.
hockey player, roller derby girl.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she can keep
Don't
people
miss,
in
don't
there.
miss Aaron.
Yep, that's right.
So yeah, we're really looking forward. And these are the things that these are the things that are wonderful about HETMA. We've been changing, we've been developing, we have great leaders who are visionaries for where we want the organization to go. And we can only do it when we have other folks from other universities that are helping out and getting involved and things like that. Just like Erin, she, like James just said, she was in the, she was just kind of quietly sitting back in that first conference, and now she's the vice chair. There's opportunity there to get involved and to have your voice heard and make sure you're part of the conversation on a regular basis. We can only see it so far, and that's the way we've always, kind of seen it as well. When it was a steering committee and we were a bunch of, 30 something, 40 something white guys, it was like, oh, we need to fix that. And we did, we fixed that. And now we're developing better as an organization.
That is the definition of evolving, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
And the Canadian girl in me asks, so where are you at with Canada? Are you having it as a separate entity? I know
I believe the ones,
guy.
yeah, I was gonna say, I believe the universities that have joined so far are just part of the general org. So there's no,
I'm going to 2 in March, so
there you go. So just have them sign up for the main org. I mean, there's no separate org as of right now. So it's just HETMA. So just
okay.
have them sign up to the community, and there you go.
Yep.
So, all right. Sorry, I'm being like super distracted tonight because there's just like lots of things happening. It's, as you're hearing this, it is now March, and I can't even believe in and of itself.
Okay. March is an action month.
That's
Right.
true. That is true. It's a verb. It's a noun. It's
It is March. Hello, March. Now, I mean, May is kind of sort of a weak sort of action month. But March is happening. It is here. Get ready, buckle up, make a move. This is March. It's in the name.
There you go. So this is the chat. Yeah, this is, you got spring break. Spring comes into this time, spring cleaning. So, it's a good time to get out there and like really. Now, I did this like a couple weeks ago because we had like a little bit of a lull. So my office got like cleared out. I threw out like 3 bags of just useless trash I had. Recycled a bunch of electronics. So don't worry. I didn't just throw out my electronics. I was responsible. And so yeah, my office got an overhaul, which was nice.
Yeah, the tradition is to hoard them in a corner or a closet.
Yep.
But you decided to break with tradition and actually put them in the area where they could be free. And
yeah, they were already stored in that corner.
oh yeah.
So they got out of the corner and into the recycling. So yes,
You are a man of action.
I was
admire
motivated.
you.
It was a hyper focus moment for my ADHD. So I struck while the iron was
Ride
hot.
that
So
wave. Yeah.
yes, exactly. Speaking of that, and I'm going to do a shameless little plug here. If you get a chance to go back and watch the video clips from the HETMA conference, please dive into the neurodiversity in AV panel. It was myself, Britt Yenser, Justin from from across the pond in Ireland, and Justin Dawson. Wow, his last name escaped my mind for a second there. And Jen Steinhardt. We all were talking about neurodiversity and how it interweaves in all of our parts of our lives and everything like that. So,
That's good.
yeah, so it was a great panel, and the chat was off the hook too, so as it always is. So it was, and I just said off the hook.
Yes,
And
you
where
did.
can you find that?
Well, so you have to sign up for HETMA right now. So go to hetma.org and sign up. And then it's under, I believe it's open to both sides. I think it's as part of the open community. So you could be a manufacturer partner or a higher ed folk, and you could get access to it under the events. So all the videos are there from the conference.
Okay. Sounds good.
And if you're having trouble, just let me know, and I will, we'll share it. We'll figure out a way of sharing it out to you. So, yeah, I think this is the conversations that we were having during the panel are gonna yield some other conversations that are bigger than just AV. And I really looking forward to having more conversations with Justin regarding that as well, because I think there's a global need that is a little less defined, and I think it needs more definition. So, so yeah, so anyway, so March Madness, as it were. I mean, we're right around the time for higher ed spring break, so that's usually a little, at least for me, it's a little bit of a jolt, and like we have to do some projects, like little ones, real fast, and let's get these done. And that's about a week of that, and then it goes March, April, May, and we're into summer projects. So like March is the kickoff, for me at least, to the summer season, because this is when everything starts going. And that's also part of the reason I picked April for the road show, is that I didn't want to get anywhere near May because of how with commencements and everything like that. I'm like, I don't even want to touch May. It's like, let me do April. And so it's, but March is going to be, I think that's the kickoff. I mean, James, is that kind of how you see things going this year for you?
I don't know. Again, my world right now is a very unique because again, I'm still dealing with a brand new building.
That's true.
So it's not what typically I would be planning, like, upgrades and all that stuff, because I don't need to do those. Now I do need to address some things, and I also probably use this time to start mapping out the tour that we're going to give during InfoComm this year. So, yes, if you're coming out to InfoComm, coming out to Vegas for InfoComm, make sure you sign up for the UNLV tour. There are actually 2 of them this year. They are separate. They are separate admission price. The one in the morning is at with Frank and his team in their new engineering building. Very cool building. I actually got to tour it while I was during construction. Very cool what they're doing there. And then the afternoon is actually at my medical education building, and it's going to be a good tour as well.
Okay.
Very cool. Yeah, and so yeah, that's gonna be this InfoComm is gonna be amazing. I think maybe I'm jumping ahead, but I jumped ahead on the conference as well. But we have the education summit as well for HETMA. We have the double-decker center of the floor booth for HETMA this year. We are literally going to be the center of attention next to Avixa. So I don't know if that's going to be. I'm gonna be interested to see how that pans out just a little bit, just because like you're moving the frat house right next door to like the administration building. It's like
Either they're going to love that decision or they're going to hate that decision.
in which
Either
case
way,
they put
we're going to be HETMA.
yeah, and if they don't like it, they put us back in the back and we just pick up where we left off. So it's So yeah, and then it's going to be an amazing, and then the higher ed AV awards. So there's more information coming up about that in the next couple weeks. So keep an eye out for that. So get your nominations ready. will be the EV Life will have a small part in that as well. Early discussions. So I'm sorry if I'm dropping this on the crew without anyone knowing, but
You heard it here.
you heard it here first. So breaking news. So I guess you could say. Yeah. So I that's kind of like the next big thing. Well, no, I shouldn't say that's the next big thing because I know there's other shows coming up in between. So all right. So now that we've kind of like we're into March, what's the next Nancy, like what's your next thing that you're focusing on?
For me, it's just being on the road, really. We're not, well, for me anyways, not doing NAB. So the next one will be Infocom.
Okay.
Waiting for the details for that because, we have consultant reception. We've got like a demo suite so that I can pass information on about that. But there really aren't any even regional shows right now. I feel that they mostly happen in the fall.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, maybe early spring, but there's nothing else. So, I mean, I was in Denver. I'm in 2 weeks in Renee's neck of the woods in Missouri. And then I'll see from there. I'll start planning again.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean,
All right.
I could even look at seeing if I could get out the New Jersey way.
There you go.
Wow.
I know I missed you with your last trip because you went like straight to the city. You didn't even like cut across into Jersey.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was asked to present at your conference last Thursday, but I was driving in Denver, so there was no way that I had any time that I was able to do the Bose Pro portion of it. But I said any other time, I'm happy to. So
Cool. Well, we'd be glad to have you.
yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm a little on the slow side tonight, folks. It's just it's been a week or so. So
And relate to that. Yeah.
yeah. So March, so going back to March. So I think this is I don't know, any other madness out there that
Well,
Murphy?
as you said, it's been a week, right? So we are sliding into the last month of Q1. And we're like, wait, it feels like we had some ideas. Sometimes it's like, it can't be Friday. I wasn't done with Saturday, last Saturday, So you go, wait a minute, it can't be March. I wasn't done with the stuff we were supposed to be done with in December. So here we are, like, wait, we've got a lot happening and the world is turning again. Everybody is in it, and stuff is happening. Things have, Elvis has left the building and we better run and catch up with the show that is on the road to mix all of the metaphors in one. And that's why March, particularly to me, feels startling and something that I have to catch up with, but it's good. I feel that me personally and the world has done some good things to set us in good shape for 2024. And there's a lot of people coming together with different streams of interest, different things that are happening. HETMA is one of them. Different parts of manufacturers, different types of technologies are rolling. And now it's like, oh, which of these should we jump into? What's going to make us more efficient and work better and get stuff done? So all of this is kind of rolling in a way that seems a bit new. It's like, oh, are we doing this again? This is like things kind of used to be. So that's what it feels like to me. How's it feeling? How's it feeling to you, Nancy?
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, yeah.
You are actually kind of more in the same sort of field that you've been in. Like you've you know, jumped around a bit, but you're still doing what you've always done. James is like, you know, doing his new role, new-ish. It's his new but old role. You've had it long enough to know that it isn't so new, but it probably still feels kind of new. And I'm like, well, so that's why I was like, particularly asking you. And me too. I'm in a different role than I've been in. What with the
Well,
event?
I think like James has been in the same role that he's been in. I think it's adapting to changes to especially, you know, like what we had with COVID and that. I don't know. That's an interesting topic. That's one that would be good as a separate topic altogether, I think. Really, is the flexibility, the compatibility, the even the work-life balance, but there's like so many different things that sort of roll into it that it's hard just to say quick, yeah, you know, hey, well, this changed.
Sort of comparing this March as compared to the last 3 Marches, the last 3 years.
Right, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep.
This is a good place to be, I think. I'm happy. I'm
Yes.
excited about what's going on.
Yes.
Definitely. It's always when things are going well, you can always tell like if you're in a good spot or a bad spot. Just like I had this conversation with my supervisor today. I've had this multiple times with him, and other people in the organization, but like everything I have faced personally and even in work itself out here, if the work environment wasn't the way it is currently, I would have been like, forget this, I'm going back to the East Coast. It's a very a good work environment to be in. So that makes it
That helps.
nicer to deal
Mhm.
with the other stuff that we're dealing with. So it's always great to have those environments that foster the things that you're looking for, that you actually enjoy getting up and going to work.
Yeah, I was gonna say that makes all the difference entirely. You know, and that's part of the reason. Like, I complain about my commute, but I love what I do at Rutgers, and the environment is amazing. Like, and that's what makes it worthwhile every day to be able to make that trip. You know, down to campus, and I got a great boss who's been very flexible and has been encouraging of my growth. And we have a team that I love working with on a daily basis. And it's like you can't, when everything's aligned like that, you can't help, like, you can't put a price tag on that. Well, within reason, but
Yeah.
Well, it's like you said, it's the support from your upper management that really
Mhm.
makes a difference.
Well, it
Yeah.
does. And I mean, again, leadership is everyone has different, like I was speaking with someone today, one of my student workers who, you know, they do have another job as well, and they help pay their bills and stuff. And they were telling me that they one of the things that their manager at the other job was giving them not just this my student worker, but the whole team, like really coming down on them of they're clocking in and out, and that they can't clock in earlier than 5 minutes before, and they have to clock it out on time. And I'm like, did they explain why? And they're like, so worker came in and go, no, they just told me that's the way it is, and this is why you like, they didn't explain why. And so I kind of went into some things as I know. I can only use things I've learned, but I know some systems, if you clock in earlier than 5 minutes before, it rolls up to like the quarter hour or half hour before your scheduled time. So that really throws off accounting big time.
Mhm.
And like this is something simple, but a leader should be able to explain why something is the way. Um, I mean, instead of going to the whole, I know I said this story before, but the whole monkey pit story that my brother gave me, like nobody knows why you're doing something, then what's the point? What's the point
Mhm.
of doing it if you can't tell me why? And that's one of the questions I love asking that question when someone says we need to do it this way. I'd be like, but why. And when they come back and go, well, that's how we always did it. I throw terms out there for like, well, cars always been gasoline. Now they're some electronic. Like, you can change things. Just because it was always done a certain way doesn't make it right.
Yeah, that was what they said before they invented fire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very, very true. All right. Well, hopefully we could get through this month of March Madness with all the support and everything that we need. And we can come out better for it later on.
And we got a great book recommendation now from
And we got a great
the
book
great
recommendation.
James King.
And it's the
Yes.
leap
Wouldn't go
year, so we
great,
have
but-
one extra day of February.
Oh, that's
Ooh,
true.
yeah.
Yes.
Use
we
it up.
hope-
Don't let it
yeah.
go to waste.
Yeah. Yeah, we hope you used your
Yeah.
leap day to the fullest. By the time you hear this, you would have, leap day.
Yeah, that's true.
And yeah, so it's we'll be back in another week. We'll be back with another episode as we move through March. And thanks to the crew as always. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Hopefully we end up better after this March Madness. That's where I was going with it. And then, that we have all grown a little bit more and end up with cleaner offices and whatever whatever else makes your world a little bit easier. And
Get a little spring in our step.
a little spring in the step. I like that. There you go. I appreciate that. That's a good one. All right, folks. Well, thank you for listening. And as always, as I say, until our next adventure.
Bye.